In other news tonight, the Russian defense minister is very unhappy with the U.S.-led coalition actions in Syria, and they're upfront about it. The coalition conducted 3 airstrikes on government-affiliated militias over the last month. Russian generals say by doing so, the United States is helping ISIS. RT's Alexei Yaroshavsky has that story tonight.
After 3 incidents when U.S.-led coalition airstrikes on the position of militias affiliated with the Syrian army in the space of the last 3 weeks, the Russian Defense Ministry came up with probably the harshest words of criticism towards the U.S.-led coalition. The Defense Ministry, in an address on Friday, called these actions collusion with ISIS.
One gets the impression that under the pretext of fighting international terrorism, America is using ISIL to prevent Syrian forces from advancing.
Coalition strikes on pro-government forces let ISIL fighters escape, and it's strengthening the terrorists near Palmyra and Deir ez-Zor.
Instead of fighting terrorists who have claimed hundreds of thousands of innocent civilian lives, the US-led coalition and Kurdish SDF fighters are in collusion with ISIL.
Now, all 3 incidents happened in the southern province in Syria, the At-Tanf province, and in all 3 cases, the U.S.-led coalition and the Pentagon claimed that the militias affiliated with Assad's government threatened the positions of U.S.-led forces and U.S.-led coalition forces in the area. The excuse and the justification has always been the same, as voiced again by the State Department this week.
The coalition is focused solely on the urgent challenge to defeat ISIS. That has not changed at all. The coalition remains ready to defend itself as pro-regime forces advance toward coalition forces at Tanf and otherwise threaten coalition forces. So we do not see this as an escalation.
So Washington says there's no escalation. Moscow clearly sees it differently. But all this happens amid the much anticipated assault on the de facto capital of ISIS, Raqqa, which is about to take place. And if it happens, if it comes into fruition, it is believed that the assault will come from the north of Raqqa, meaning that all the ISIS troops in the area will be fleeing south. And south is where the militias affiliated with the Syrian government are located, and that's where all the 3 incidents over the last 3 weeks with US-led coalition airstrikes have taken place. And also, it's worth reminding that all 3 incidents happened in a so-called deconfliction zone, something that Moscow has said is the only way to resolve the Syrian crisis peacefully. But right now, it seems that this method doesn't really seem to work. Alexei Yaroshavsky, RT, reporting from Washington, D.C.